Listen, to start off, I'm not a betting man, but too much. If this year has taught me anything, 3 days in, I should be a betting man. The money I would have made, I could have afforded a World Cup ticket or a mortgage payment, depending on what you could afford these days. But we are here. We are going to talk about the day that was AFCON round of 16, Senegal versus Sudan, Tunisia versus Mali. We have the Indomitable Lion 7 here with us. Anu, how are you doing, big guy?
Flabbergasted. It's a great day for football.
Ah, lovely day.
And
I mean,
we discussed it yesterday. You made that crazy prediction. Should have put on your parlay, dog.
you should have put a parlay. For those of you who missed it, we were on Mo Football's channel. We predicted a round of 16. I said, Senegal over Sudan. It should be that. Though I was for a brief moment, for 30 minutes, I was dreaming of the what went wrong Senegal video. I'm like, the numbers this is going to do, and then Senegal decided Senegal, good for them. But I predicted Mali over Tunisia in penalties to move on. And let me tell you, when that red card happened, I said to myself, please, I can't be wrong all the time, please. And 88th minute when Tunisia scores, I said, I had a good run. It's okay. But you know what? Those prayers that you're putting in tomorrow, sir, they came in early today. And I got my penalty, and then on to penalties, and then Mali past Tunisia. So we have our first quarterfinal matchup set. Mali versus Senegal, which will be a very interesting matchup. But overall, thoughts on the two matchups that we had today, guys. Let us know who stood out to you in the matchups, whether you're watching this live or on the rewatch. Let us know what stood out to you in those two matchups. But what are some of the things that you saw that stood out for you?
I mean, them going to. I think they them going to VAR to decide on that red card, which I thought was going to be devastating for Mali, but man, they stayed resilient the whole time. I mean, like you said, we were talking about earlier, since Tunisia doesn't really score more than two goals, and Mali exploited that heavily. Mm-hmm. I'm just blown away how they got that penalty in extra time. It's just right on the money, man, for real.
I am not mad at it whatsoever at all. I mean, this is what you want. And the thing you said, and the more you think of it, the fact that you get this type of action and you consistently get it every 2 years until 2028, when we go to the 4-year cycle, man, we are going to miss consistent quality drama on the football pitch. Mm-hmm. And I am so sad they're taking it away from us. And we just started the round of 16, but I'm so sad that they've taken it away from us this season.
This is what's crazy. It's the first day of the round of 16, and we were already seeing the chaos. AFCON is peak football, man.
It's peak everything, right? It's peak vibes. It's peak what is a pen. We still don't. I had one of my Canadian friends who really into women's soccer. She messaged me. She was like, got the app. I'm going to watch. Who am I rooting for? And the second game, like, listen, On paper, it should be Tunisia, but it's AFCON. So you pick the underdog and you ride it. So she's happy she got to see it. But then I also told her, we still don't know what a pen is. So you might get to experience what is a penalty. And if you do, good for you. And she got the whole AFCON experience. An early red, what is a penalty, penalties. Ah,
Jeez,
ooh,
man,
wonderful times.
I was texting my friend earlier today. She was watching. He was like, she was just like, I don't know. This is like, I don't know why I haven't seen this before. This is amazing.
Mm.
It's amazing. It just vibes, peak, chaos, all rolled up into one ball, man.
Honestly, it's what you this feels a day like today feels like when you finally introduce that friend to that artist that's on the up and up, and then you're like, listen, they're gonna blow up. I'm telling you, like, just get in on this album right now, right? This feels like peak when your friend is like, listen, I got a band and we're gonna do some shows, and then in a few years, like, we'll be big, and you're like, yo, Joey, that's you, that's you
Oh,
out there.
okay. So here's an interesting story, right? Okay, so a couple years ago, right? I was in Cameroon,
Mm,
and I went to I for what I was in Cameroon, and I got to see Wizkid.
mm,
Yeah, do a concert, right? The what's it called? The tickets were like the VIP tickets were like about maybe like $50 something. I was like, oh, I can afford that.
mm.
So I went into it, right? And the guy was amazing to listen to. I come back to the United States, and One Dance is the number one song in the nation.
He's like, $50. I know you.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is wild.
yeah.
That is wild.
And everyone, and like I said, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, that was Drake's new single, One Dance featuring Wizkid. I'm like, are you serious? You know? And literally, I just went to his concert, and he was already making waves in the United States.
That I mean, that's what introducing them to this today. That's what it feels like. You got the whole experience. For people who are like, "What is
Mm-hmm.
AFCON?" It's the underdog scoring in the first 5 minutes, and you thinking for a half hour this could happen. It's seeing talented players do talented player things. It's seeing teams be just feisty and physical and keep the game to a spot where then they can win. This is a good representation of AFCON. And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
every other day now, we're going to have two matchups that will give us some of that drama, some of those great results, some of the things that we've all come to know and love. And again, I'm mad that this is no longer going to be 2 years. I'm mad about this. I am very much mad that this is.
Yo, man,
I like my December football when it's like, yeah, okay, I could watch. Okay, I could
this
watch the Prem, but no, no. Give me Ethiopia versus Mozambique in an African Cup of Nations tournament, and I am in it. I am seated. I am there.
calf. This, if you're listening, there's still time. You can breathe. We can reverse this, please. Reverse this.
You don't
Screw
have to fit into.
what your wife is doing. Your
You
wife,
don't have to fit in. Just you
yeah,
can be
don't
the
fit in
weird
with your
kid,
wife.
and we're not even weird.
Exactly. Don't go with UEFA and do this whole Nations League crap. Don't do it.
uh, we could go for hours on like what was the again like I'm someone who've always said with Afcon, oh guys, don't worry, we'll talk about the games. We'll go into details about the games. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But like I'm always someone who said that just the inconvenience of it, and 4 years might do it well. And so when they made the announcement, we're gonna move Afcon to every 4 years, I'm like, okay, if that's all you're gonna do, I'm like, okay, I can accept that. It's the second they say, and we're gonna introduce the African Nations League every in the other interim. Like, so then just run AFCON then. It's just run AFCON then. Yeah, it's the same thing. Unbelievable. But enough waxing on this. We could go for hours on this, and
I know,
quite
right?
frankly, it'd be fun. But let's talk about these two games that came up today. We had Sudan versus Senegal, and for a minute, again, like we said, 5 minutes in, we'll throw up the sofa score for you guys to take a look at ratings. Again, ratings don't tell you who played well, but they give you a snapshot into how the game kind of played through, which areas were interesting. I always like to look at the box stats of it because that gives you, at least the viewer, if you didn't watch the game, an idea of how the game was kind of played through. So let's throw this up here for you to take a look at, and we will show you some of the interesting factors and facts of this game again. So, and 3-1 for Senegal over that. Papagay with 2 goals in the 29th and the 45th plus third. Then Mbai in the 77th. While Abdalia scores in the 6th minute for Sudan. And for those first 30 minutes, Sudan was the better team, dare I say. They looked better, even though Senegal kind of grew into it. But I mean, you take a look at these ratings, that kind of gives you an idea. When you think back to this game, right? We see Sudan. Sudan going up early is the least surprising thing of how Sudan has played. Sudan were a side where when they score a goal, all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, we're buzzing, we're moving. Sudan to me is a side though, if they score too early, based off of the talent that they have, I worry about if they're able to maintain it over a full 90. If they get a goal like in the second half, for a half, can they hold on to the lead? I think their chances are better. But to have to defend for that long, even though this is a team that wants to defend, get a goal, make the right IQ play, and move forward, when you look at how Sudan performed, yes, they end up on the losing end of a 3-1 loss. But how do you look at their performance in terms of what they did against a farly superior, especially from a talent standpoint, side?
When we start out first, I mean, they came into this match with their backs against the wall,
Mm-hmm.
like with this very beautiful Senegalese team. Them scoring early, but early was nice to see, but
Mm-hmm.
came the question was, can they maintain that lead? Like you said, can they maintain that lead for so long? But I really think they can't, because you got to look at Senegal's depth. The depth, they have really good depth, and we talked about this with our buddy, with our Senegalese buddy on Mo Football. In Mo Football, you bring in that sub, scores 7 minutes into it, and the lead is already, and the lead's down the is tied up to 1-1, and
Mm-hmm.
then just next thing you know, Senegal just ran with it. But and all things aside, shout out to the Sudanese people. I know that they're going through a lot, but I know for Sudan they're very happy that
Mm-hmm.
they have gotten up into the knockouts, and they've faced such a very powerful team in Senegal. So my heart goes out to Sudan and all its people.
No, agreed. I think for what they were able to do, yes, they get the win. They score their first, again, not the own goal that counts as for you, but they scored their first goal of the tournament here. It was a beauty. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's a beautiful in the box out, get to the outside, put it to the far post. Every winger, every midfielder has that in their bag and they're ready to go for it. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the talent discrepancy as the game went on, you kind of saw, okay, yeah, Senegal is clearly the more talented side. When you look at Sudan, even though they were trying to be defensive, you saw pockets of potential with what they were trying to do, especially when they got into those transition spaces. They're a dangerous side when you have to push in an extra player up. So if they get a goal early, their plan was very much let's defend. And when they commit one too many, that's where we have to spring the transition and go for it. Like we saw that against Equatorial Guinea. We saw that against in some spots versus Senegal, but the talent gap was a little bit close. When you look at how they played, right? Because we want to talk about the winners, but we also want to say, okay, I've been saying this for a while. The middle class of African sides are definitely raising the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's maybe in this competition there was maybe one, maybe two teams that you said, okay, that's four. Like they're gonna show up, they're gonna pick up two, pick up three, pick up four, collect their 200, they've passed go, and then they're out for the game. But like a Sudan is a side that says, okay, they can be solid defensively, what's next for them? Is it finding more offensive players? Is it finding midfielders that can control the type of game that they want to play? Is it going all in on defense, getting their defenders into better leagues so that they can defend better against these higher competitions. When you look at Sudan, what do you think the next step for a team like that is in terms of taking the next step in football in Africa?
Well, like you said, great defensive. They're great defensively in the back. I think they should really try to see if they can get themselves with the strength in their midfield, and also try to get themselves another striker, the striker as a second
Mm-hmm.
choice for them. I know that of course know that it's going to be really hard for them considering the fact that because of the civil war, the Sudanese league is suspended over there.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all these players were playing separately in different leagues throughout the Africa and probably even through the diaspora. So I'm hoping that when AFCON qualifiers comes around, they can probably, they can probably will have the same players that are on the field, but also hopefully they get some new ones, and maybe they'll probably find that gem that no one heard about before, and Senegal and Sudan can make that run back into the knockouts at the next AFCON.
Mm. That's fair. I mean, especially when you look at the one thing that does work for them, even though just for Africa, they just have AFCON. I mean, you have those regional tournaments going on. They still have the Arab Cup that they performed in. That was a good warm up for them coming into this, right? We know FIFA's still running U17s every year for the next few years. So maybe that's an emphasis to try to maybe more in the diaspora try to find some gems, bring in more players for camps, see if any of them can start to shine a little bit early. You might have to rush a couple of them, but maybe you get them in, get them familiar with the program. This goes back to the whole conversation of dual nationals, to getting them in the door versus that. I'm one who always thinks you're not going to get everyone to commit to you, but if you can show everyone what you're about, you almost have to treat it like scratch off tickets, right? This one might get you $50. This one might get you $2. This other one might get you 300. And then you're like, okay, that's a solid center back, right? Now we're talking. And so the relationships that they build with players, I think that's going to be important for them moving forward. And for Sudan, I mean, you have to tip the hat off. And the Ghanaian me will always tip the hat off to you, Kwesiapia, for the job you've done in the last two things in World Cup qualifying. They were up until the last few cycles battling with their group. When it came to AFCON qualifiers, they topped the group with Ghana and Angola, and I think Central African Republic was there as well, one of the two. And then here they get out of the group and played well. I think they hats off to them for how they played. I think you have to always give them that credit. When you flip the side over to the victors, Senegal, right? Senegal gets through it. We had a conversation about Sadio Mane, and I think this is the trend now, Anu. Every time I criticize a team or a player, that player decides, hey. Do you remember me? So if anyone wants to turn their life around this year, have me criticize you, please, right? I'll talk about everything. Hairlines, penmanship, driving abilities, whatever you need. Your bank account is empty. It will be filled by the next day. But Sadio Mane put on showed his class here, and it's still a spot I still have questions about because the talent that you have, right? You need to get some of that talent in, but he reminded us today, even though it's against Sudan, he reminded us again that class is class. What do you take from this Senegalese performance versus Sudan here, and especially Sadio Mane?
I will give my hats off to Sadio Mane. I think he now has the record for assists in the AFCON, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, I
think,
saw that. Yeah.
yeah, of course, this is still very talented, very talented. And I know how it is. Yesterday, you were talking about maybe it would be better if Mane played 30 minutes instead of the whole 90. But Sadio, he wants to put himself out there, and I mean, I do apologize. I didn't see much of the game. I was
It's
so
all
busy
good.
this
It's all
morning,
good.
but still beautiful, but just beautiful synergy from the Senegalese team, and like that's why you can put your hat in. You can still put a little bit of money in the pot of them winning the AFCON. I will give it. I also will still give it out to Edouard Mendy. He's still,
Mm,
yeah, he is still on the up and up. Especially the fact that I said, especially the fact that he was rejected by the Chelsea fans. I mean, I still love Mendy to death. When he left Chelsea, I was so devastated because this man this man did everything, and people believe
mm.
that he peaked after winning the AFCON. I was like, no way, no. He's still great goalie, but my hat's off to him. I still love him. Him and Koulibaly. Oh
You're
wait,
right.
Koulibaly did not play today. I forgot he
No,
got
I
that.
don't think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, he was suspended for
Hmm.
red card suspension.
Yep. That feels about right. Yeah. So no Koulibaly, but then you still have who came out? Juve comes on, Dia comes on, Kamara, Mbaye comes on, and then
Yeah,
Ismail Cisse comes on as well. So yeah, no Koulibaly. You won't have him till next game. But again, like you look at the bench on the side, all the SARs,
shit,
Niangs,
yeah, Sar.
Giallo's there,
Mm-hmm.
Njai living his good time. It's just a solid side. It's a solid side. And they did this without did he? I'm not yeah, Njai didn't play. Lilium
Mm-hmm.
Liman Ilium Njai doesn't play. And I think the fact that you have a player like that, again, the Senegal side, the depth that they have, it's scary, right? It's the depth that you say should win this, at least make the semis, if not the finals of this tournament. The question will come down to can they get past, because it's now just survive and advance. This is March Madness. Like we don't care about the matchups. Be 1 point ahead of the other time when the clock strikes zero, and move on to the next side. But yeah, like you said, the depth that they showed outside of Mane, you mentioned some of the other players. Any other players for you stood out in that Senegal side for how they played? I know Pop Gay gets the 2 goals, and so he'll get the pup for finishing. But any other Senegalese players stand out to you in these matchups, in this matchup here?
Okay, so I'm a good. So we were just talking about, you know, we're talking about not Gaye. What was that? Mabaye, the 17-year-old becomes the
Yes.
17-year-old becomes the youngest player to ever score in the Afcon. Of course, he was brought up in the he was brought up in the French system according to Mo,
Yep.
the French system according to Mo, and he could have joined, and they were ready to bring him into the French team, but he knew to himself that he was probably not going to even reach that first team due to the amount of depth they had and talent.
Hmm.
I am very glad that he was able to make the switch into the Senegalese team. It goes to show you that whatever the Senegalese Federation is doing, they're doing a great job tapping into diaspora more than most African countries I've seen.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. Yeah, that's a fair point to bring up. I mean, but something we brought up and we'll continue to bring up. Once you expand the World Cup to 48 teams,
Mm-hmm.
right? You give players 48 options, but realistically, what? Instead of just 32 teams battling, 12 extra teams means what? I don't want to do the math tonight. I won't lie. But it's a lot more players and spots that you can look at that are now options. It's not just I would love to play at a World Cup, but realistically, my only chance is France. You don't have to, right? When you look at it, it's okay. You could play for France, but you could also qualify if you have African descent through there, right? If you have descent somewhere in, say, CONCACAF, why not say, hey, yeah, my parents, one of my mom has heritage in a Caribbean island. Why not take my chances there and help improve that nation's infrastructure and get a chance? Because of the expanded format, you're giving these players. Now, the interesting with him is at such a young age, right? Because usually you'll see them like the 22, 23s. Maybe you'll see like more likely to see 25, 26, the Brahim Diaz's, right? Where you see them like, okay, now they're coming in, they're into their own and they're pushing. But at such a young age, that's interesting. And again, this will always bring up the conversation with dual nationals. I don't mind when you make your choice, but when you make your choice, hey, make your choice. So whether you're 17, 27, 32, 22, I don't care when you make the choice. Once you do, you do. And the
Yeah,
fact that
and
he's
it's
making it, yeah, go on, go on.
and the good thing about it is like he's like you say he's 17, meaning like he has a lot of time. I'm shoot. He has a lot of time in international competition. He's probably going to
Mhm.
play like maybe like 3, 4 World Cups if he stays at the top of his game.
Yep. I do agree. I do agree. Yep. I do agree with you there, Mo. The infrastructure, the media landscape has changed. I do agree with you. And it
Mm-hmm.
does come from there as well. Steph, welcome back to the program. We see you. We need all the individual continental tournaments to have the same weight as the Euros when it comes to the casual fans. And I think that comes also from us paying attention to it. Yes, the media has to do its job, and it doesn't help when some heads will just say one is not important, but it doesn't take just because someone says it's not important or in the grand scheme of things doesn't mean it's not important to you. And then the more views that they're out there that make it important, that's where then it grows to a bigger space where then we can take advantage of it, and then the profile grows from it. So I do agree that we do need more coverage of it, but it starts with little things like us, right? Doing recaps every time, right? Because I mean, I cover national teams, so anytime a U17 in Canada does something, I'm like, yeah, cool. This is what they did. Here's a recap. Go. But at the same time, it's why we're the Africans. We got to do both. And so I think we can start that level of attention and bringing the hype for it, and then eventually it'll grow and it'll take care of itself in that sense. Or maybe that's just my rose colored glasses thinking about it. But if it has to start with us, listen, we're here, we're talking about it. And the 7 people are here talking about it. Hopefully, the next time it's 10 or 12, and then you grow it to 40, and then you get it to 100, and then the profile of it goes. But I do agree, the Euros always will get the weight because that's where the machine is, right? That's where the media machine is. And that's where I agree. And to your other point here, Steph, because the World Cup shouldn't be the all in all true for attractive players. You need players joining teams for Copa and even at AFCON and even the Asian Cup. I'll add to that.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Gold Cup, even the Oceanic tournament, even though it's just a New Zealand invitational. But that's true. When you bring those players to that level, that matters. I mean, using the CONCACAF example, look at what Dom Rep did, right? Dominican Republic, they qualify. They don't win a game, but this was their big chance and they brought in a lot of names. And for them, it's like, welcome to the show. We saw Suriname do it 4 years ago when they brought some players. They didn't do well, but now look at them. Now they have a chance to build into it and grow in. That is true. So you got to. The World Cup is the pinnacle because we've always looked at it as the pinnacle, no doubt. But Afcon matters, just like the Gold Cup should matter, just like the Euro should matter, just like Copa America, etc. and etc. The Gold Cup continues to get shafted. We did it to go
I
on
mean,
that
the Gold
tangent.
Cup did it to themselves. Let's be
We did it to
real.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a this competition only be played in the United States and not in other countries, it pretty much diminishes the product. I mean,
Hmm.
what like wouldn't it be better if the Gold Cup if they were able to play Gold Cup matches in Canada and also Mexico? It doesn't need to always be in America. And besides that, over the fact I absolutely hate the ticket prices for the Gold Cup. They're
I
insanely expensive.
Yeah, because they're yeah, I agree with everything you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, I'd also say, yeah, that's what the magic of AFCON comes, right? We're in Cote d'Ivoire, we see that country come together there. We see Morocco for years invest into the infrastructure. And now what do we see? Now we see them hosting everything. They're the golden child of Africa, and every mother is annoyed, and we're kind of there talking about it. But the next Gold Cup is what it's the East Coast, right? It's Kenya, it's Uganda, and I forget what the
In
third country.
Tanzania, like
Tanzania, yeah,
yeah, the three Somali nations.
right. And so you get to see that magic all the time. And to your point, I agree, Steph. Right, AFCON would be diminished if if it was just Morocco hosting it, or if it was just Cote d'Ivoire hosting it. Yeah, it would diminish it because now you don't get the magic of that specific space, and I think that's what makes it so much more. Listen, all you hear is how the players love to play in Morocco. Look, Morocco put money. Okay,
They
Morocco
do.
said
Have you seen
money.
their facilities? I mean, I'm just
Look,
saying, Stefan. Do yourself a favor. Just Google search Morocco's facilities. They're a world class. I mean, you gotta put it down.
mhm,
Like, if you get accepted into these national training center, not only you will be learning the technical ability to become a national player, you also have an education from primary school up to college. So if you can't make it as a national team player, you can at least graduate with a college degree. That's
mm,
how much that's how much money the Moroccan Federation and also the government has poured into the development.
yep, and that's what makes it just. It's a model that for I can understand why some countries, African countries, will just be annoyed with. Oh, why it's always them? But it's a perfect model to be like, yes, you have to invest into it properly, and these are the results you get. Right, an actual finished stadium, not the foundation, not an election highway, that gets built every 4 years when you need votes, but an actual facility for them. And yes, I know there's more important things in the country and life than that, but show that investment, show that pride. So when they come back, it's hey, we want to build more. Africa shouldn't have to rely every time on the benevolence of players coming back to give. We should be organized enough to do it for ourselves. We'll still take the gifts and we appreciate them, but we should be organized ourselves to be able to do that versus relying on the benevolence of those coming back and giving. It's always appreciated, but you got to shovel, you got to spade, you got to do that work too. It can't always be someone coming out because if you keep doing that, then at the end of the day, you'll just have a piece of land and everyone else will own everything. And name me an African country where that's not happening. I'll hang up and listen. but that is the reality. Yep, yep, yep. It will. It will come out. Yeah, true. The king did invest, and it'll come back to them in the long return because they have everything, right? They have the teams performing well on all levels. And now with these facilities, now if you're recruiting, I don't need to be like, listen, we have an amazing project. Like the project is done. Okay, look, you see 2022 semifinals of the World Cup. You see AFCON. This is where we're at.
Oh,
That
that even reminds me of Morocco. There are reports saying
mm,
that Morocco will host the next
Club World Cup.
yeah, yeah, the next Club World Cup.
I don't hate that.
I don't
It
either.
like I don't hate it because I think that's where it builds out into the Club World Cup is now the spiritual successor to the Confederations Cup. What at this
Mm-hmm.
point it is, right? I.e., the tournament you play before the test run before you host the World Cup. That's what it is. And if that's the case, if Morocco was having more games, I wouldn't be mad at that. For the World Cup, but we don't know what the breakdown of the games is. But I think Morocco are showing right now they've hosted multiple WAFCONs. They're hosting an AFCON. They've hosted the U17s. They're showing the variety of their infrastructure, and I think that's going to show well. And now, in 3 years, assuming the world isn't Morocco doesn't have any like resources that need to be annexed real quick, right? Because things will. I'm just
They'll
saying
they'll find a reason.
uh, they will. And just the thing, the least crazy thing about today isn't no, the craziest thing about today isn't that Wolves won a game. Okay, I woke up with joy. I'm like, we won, man. And then I opened my phone. I'm like, oh, that happened too. Oh, okay. Well then,
Yeah.
that the world
That's,
is definitely going somewhere.
that's enough. That's just turn off the phone. Let's do that.
Yep. Yep. But we let's hey, Morocco will always get love here because they're doing a good job with that. Look, I do like the Confederations Cup. I love the idea of it because I love to see like the best on best tournament. I always love that idea, right? Just hey, bring me Mexico, bring me Argentina, bring me Cote d'Ivoire, bring me Spain, bring me whoever won the Asian Cup, and then give me the hosts, and then
I
eight
mean,
team tournament. That's how
what
you build that. That's how you soft launch something right there.
this is number 32. Remember, it's 32.
Yeah.
It's 32. All I need, I just need Atlanta United to qualify for it. That's it. Because yeah,
Hey.
yeah, because it is like this is to see MLS teams go against teams I have never thought
Mhm.
I would see them play was is amazing. But also, Chelsea same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we went against Botafogo and Palmeiras. I mean, Palmeiras and Flamengo. That's three. No, we went against four of them. Yeah, we went against like four Brazilian teams.
Mm.
That was crazy, man. And we will never have matchups like that.
No, agreed. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where it gets fascinating opening. Uh Steph, we're on the Confederations Cup here. Here's what I would do. If you want to make and again, let the record show I don't like Nations League. I really don't. But
I
if
hate
you
it.
want to if you were gonna bring back the Confederations Cup and everyone has Nations League, here's what you do. You say Continental winners and Nations League winners. Those are your two reps. And then you do a quick, and then that means it's a 24 team at best quick tournament in the summer, and you run it that way, and then that's your dress rehearsal for the World Cup. Because then there's stakes. Then I mean, I'm also someone who believes that not because I need to see Italy in the, but like I'm a firm believer that if you win your continental tournament, you should be in the World Cup. I think every confederation should work it so that if you win AFCON, your ticket is booked. Right? That's direct because especially in AFCON, like imagine like those years when Zambia wins it. And Zid's like, well, we made it. And then
You know what? For years, I thought that was a thing. I thought if you won your intercontinental competition, you that's an automatic qualify. I didn't know
mm,
you have to go right. You got to go that even if you won this cup, you have to go. You got to go in the qualifying still.
yeah.
That's what you had to. That's what I mean. You go back to like 25 the 2015. No, shoot. What was
Which
it?
year are
When
you
did
thinking?
we Chile, right? They won the
Oh,
they won
Copa
the
Centenario. Yeah, Copa
yeah,
Centenario.
they
Yeah.
won the Copa Centenario, and this is a Centenario, but they didn't qualify for Russia. You
Yeah.
know,
No, definitely. That if there was a rule I could change, if you want to make, because I think if you do that, that would be interesting. Because if you do that and then you have every continental on a 4 year cycle, okay, I can deal with that because yes, you're still saying the World Cup matters more. Which hey, we need to make the continental tournaments an emphasis. But if winning that means that, like, imagine a Guatemala, they reach the semifinals of the Gold Cup and they're like, listen, we're one game away to have a one game shot just to make it.
hmm
That's drama. That's interesting. Everyone's watching. Now imagine again, you go back to what was it, 2013 or 15 when Zambia wins the AFCON. And everyone's watching that saying, like, yeah, so the Zambian team, like the plane crashes, the team is gone. Their other team is on the verge of potentially I think that creates an interesting storyline, and I think that makes it interesting versus that. So if they did that and then made every tournament, which means also because now the Gold Cup is just the stepchild of the group being like they're the only ones that are every 2 years. if you switch that and made the Gold Cup every 4 years, but then the winner of it is automatic qualification, you do that, and then every confederation can figure it out, right? Whether it's we make the groups one team more, whether they make other things kind of work through it in that sense. You, I don't care, but I think that would be a fascinating thing to make every continental tournament matter a little bit more
Mhm.
and move from there.
I mean, even though the AFCON does actually matter, I mean,
It does. Oh,
yeah, the
it's appointment
AFCON
viewing in this
it
household.
matters no matter what. I mean, the reason why the Gold Cup doesn't the reason why the Gold Cup doesn't matter because they only play in one area. They don't play everywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yep.
actually I would have. I mean, when they did when they decided when they worked when CONCACAF worked with Carnival to do the
Yeah.
Copa America, I said this is probably the most fun tournament I've seen so far. That's
Mhm.
happened in the states because I was seeing how CONCACAF shapes up against against Carnival, and we watched Canada just rip themselves into the semifinal, something which even I didn't expect.
Mm. No, it's definitely a thing to keep an eye on. But yeah, I think from that standpoint, hey, you sit with it, we wander through it, and that's just the point. Again, this is where they did it to themselves, the US and sometimes Mexico, and then sometimes Canada. But Canada really can't be like, we sent them B team. It doesn't matter. It's like you need to win this first before we can people will take you seriously with it. We're saying in the B team. Yes, you could argue that we've not it's not taken seriously because the levels from that are so varied. But again, we're not here
And
talking about CONCACAF here. But hey, we go.
I
Yeah.
like this comment right here. It keeps
Mhm.
saying B and C teams. I really hate it. Like this is like put this for example. I'm gonna pull up this picture right now.
Mm.
That's on my phone. When we lost, you keep going. What you doing? I'm gonna pull it up right
Alrighty,
now.
alrighty. But yeah, no, yeah, guys, I promise you, we are talking about AFCON. we got distracted. I promise you, we'll get back to it in a second. But no, I think the relevance of AFCON, I think that would be, and I think that would be something to recap. We've talked about Senegal getting past Sudan here. Senegal's clash showing well again. Sudan, solid run at AFCON, but I mean, they need to strengthen a lot. And maybe with this next cycle going, they get some opportunities to build up, move in from there. But we just kind of took a tangent, started talking about the relevance of it because we're going to miss this tournament happening every 2 years just due to the fact that the new regulations in 2028 moving it through. But
So this is this is the posters that they showed us to
yeah,
promote to promote the Gold Cup, right?
yeah,
Look, you see all those X's you see there are basically the players that did not show up for the Gold Cup.
yes, the Gold
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah. So you just I'm just sitting I understand some of them some of them were playing in the Club World Cup,
Hmm.
but at the same time we need you here. We need you to take this stuff seriously because we need to be ready for this World Cup because I will not take this like if we get grouped in this World Cup next summer, I'm this is gonna this will I will make me say dissolve this whole
You will
federation.
dissolve it yourself. You'll drive to Atlanta and be like, listen, nah, shut it down.
No, I
I
try to
brought
favor right there. Favor
I
right
get
there.
I got my 2x4s, I got my nails and a hammer. I'm locking these. No, we done. We
Yeah, yeah.
are
Like we
don't
just like
no entry.
I'm sorry, Arthur Blank. I mean, you put some money in there, but no, we done, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's true, and I think that's where the Gold Cup will always struggle because everyone else will take it seriously, and we've seen the top teams just say, "Yeah, we can kind of send other people," and still, you know, they use it as like a experimental training, and I think you'd be better. This is a situation where, truthfully, everyone would be better to use another sport example. the dream team crushing teams in 92, and I'm not saying that they're going to crush all the teams, but the dream team crushing teams in 92 lays this foundation for world football as world basketball as it is today. Because you have to see what the level was. And if you don't ever see what the level is, you're never going to work. In the same breath, the magic of AFCON, where we're moving it around all the time, means you get to experience different versions of that sport. You could argue that this US team will never be its best version of itself because they never have to test themselves on the road every every tournament. They're always playing at home. And if they ever have to go somewhere else, it's Europe. If that. But they're always playing at home. And that team isn't built for the road.
That's why the
They,
U.S. would never. That's why you would never see the U.S. playing AFCON. They go to AFCON, they'll get eaten alive.
it's a different AFCON is a different animal. Like, and we
Yeah,
talked about it with Dead Balls, like Jack's video on like could a CONCACAF team win AFCON? They could win like a tournament every once in a while. Zambia won one. Like, are you
yeah.
telling me Mexico and the US aren't as good as Zambia? No, we're not saying that. We're saying yes for sure. But the environment is different. The crowds are different. The vibe is different. Unless you give yourself those types of opportunities, what are you doing, right? Yes, in Canada, like Canada prepping for the World Cup, they played home games, which were basically road games. Ecuador was one example of that. They play Colombia and New York. They go over play Wales and Romania. It's like, yeah, cool. Now you know what it feels like because this is, I mean, the joke for Canada used to be always, yeah, you're playing a home game where you might see a home fan, right? Whoever they were playing, they were always the away team because everyone else is like, oh, such and such is playing Canada and Toronto. Listen, let's go. But that's going to prep them better for the World Cup coming. And I think moving it around, they'll be better suited and prepared for that. So this is why I think also factoring in like weather, I still maintain African teams are going to kill it this World Cup. They are going to do well because I think
Ooh,
especially a team like, and I bring up DR Congo because they're a team I've wanted to see on the international stage for a long time. I think they could eat in this World Cup because they're such a what physicality. Okay,
yeah. I mean,
but we're
shoot, they're gonna be.
technical.
But I mean, if they win the Intercontinental playoff, they will play a game in Atlanta, and they're gonna be like, they're gonna see like some luxury stuff. Be like, man, indoor and air conditioning. I never seen this before.
Right?
But to be
Controlled
honest,
climate, yeah, but they'll be
but
good.
but the African teams playing in our environment is gonna be. Ooh, oh yeah. See, well, that's good for you, Stefan. You're gonna see them play in March.
Yeah,
Good for you, man.
I'm thinking about that trip versus going like low key. I'm thinking about that trip versus going to the World Cup, going to Mexico for a week and watching the EIC playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
What vacation in a show? Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
I would love to do that, but we're hosting Belgium and Morocco. I mean Belgium
Yeah,
and
Portugal is it?
in Portugal and Atlanta. So I'm pretty much stuck with that. I'll tell you straight up, if Cameroon was in that playoff,
Listen,
um,
hey, hey,
I was like, hey, my passport valid, man. I'm going to Mexico.
yeah, work. It's a work trip, right off as a work
Yeah,
expense. Let the podcast cover the travel expense. What? Yeah, just take it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And like
sir.
that's what one person said to me. It's like you're better off paying to go ticket to 6,600 at the moment from Wednesday to oh good lord.
Don't tell me with a good time, Steph. Okay, that's a good time. Do not tell
Stefani,
me.
just for the flight right now, right? Round trip?
Or is that all included? Like if that's everything, sir, I am. Listen, hola, cómo estás? Bien, okay. Rodriguez, we're in. I am running that. Welcome to also TripAdvisor with oh, that's just the flights? Okay, that's a simple yo. I know we're in a group chat. Send me all your details because see now you're tempting me with a good time. Okay, so 1,000 for the whole thing, and then food. Listen, listen. I could see DR Congo and Mexico. I'll do it. You keep like every time you tell me about this, I'm like, yo, why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I doing this? True.
So, hey, Stefan, you got couch? You got couch space, man?
Yo, you'll find me a couple couches.
You got a
Like
couch, man?
we'll bring the whole group chat. We will bring the whole
Dude,
group chat. Yo, this man, this is
I mean, shoot.
every time he tells me, I'm just like, why aren't I doing that?
I think
Uh
what's it called? Are they gonna play all the games at they're gonna play all the games at the Azteca, right? Or
no, I don't think they're all at Azteca. But let me
yeah, let's pull that up real quick.
and for the Malians and Tunisians who are waiting for analysis, we'll get there, guys. We got distracted. It's all good.
Yeah, no.
Guadeloupe, Monterey, and Guadalajara. So okay.
Wait, Guadalupe and wait,
So
where again?
Monterey, and then Guadalajara are the two stadiums are playing. So Guadalupe and then Zapopan Stadium.
Okay, where is okay? Who's playing at Monterey?
As it stands, Monterey is well. Hey, let me just make sure I got the name right. Well, yeah, Monterey is the Iraq bracket, which is Bolivia versus Suriname, and then the winner of that plays Iraq, and then the Guadalajara is New Caledonia versus Jamaica, and then DR Congo sits at the end of that one, which we'll see come through. So that could be a.
All right, okay, let's go to Guadalupe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This could be interesting. Again, tempting me with a good time.
Uh,
Thank you for letting me know up to 4. Oh, sir. We'll be in touch. Listen,
Guadalupe.
listen, listen. Don't tempt me with a good time with that. All right. Minus our pure just distraction of everything. Let's go to match number 2. Match number 2, where we're planning our footy holidays. Mali gets past Tunisia in penalties. 3-2 in penalties, 1-1 after the full 90. We had Firas scoring in the 88th minute, and then Sanyoko scoring in the 90th plus 6th minute after a VAR challenge gives them the penalty, and then the goal goes from there. 1-1, then 3-2 in penalties overall. I had a feeling about this game, and fun fact on this game, I predicted it would be won in penalties by Mali. So if you want financial advice, go bet whatever I bet in Mo Football's video. And so far we're perfect, but don't bet your house because I don't as a channel we don't endorse that. But I will not be responsible for your financial
Yeah,
choices. So
gamble at your own risk, people.
yes. Like,
Even
if you have a
though,
gambling problem, please call your local state a gambling addiction hotline and deal with that because I am not
e-
that person. Okay,
even
I
though
was just right twice.
even though my man's here had probably the craziest prediction that I did not foresee.
It it's just a matchup, right? When you look at teams, and the thing that I said about it was the reason why I said it was when I looked at how Mali played Morocco. Steph, don't kill me with this. This message is sponsored by FanDuel. No, FabDuel, not FabDuel. We are FabDuel, not FanDuel. No association, no association whatsoever. But when you look at tournament football, it's always the matchups of styles, and we saw Mali versus Morocco in their group, and what they were able to do against them, especially when they turned up the pressure, they pressed, they made the spaces and the gaps a little tighter. They look like the better side, and I thought this is a type of game where I think Mali will try to do that, muck up the game a bit, be physical with Tunisia, and I think get through it after 120 minutes. I didn't expect the red card to come in, which changed the factor of the game. From what you remember of this game, what are some things that kind of stood out to you with that game? We'll go back to the usual questions with that. Like, what stood out to you in terms of Mali versus Tunisia in that matchup?
Man, you got to say when Molly got that red card, when Molly got that red card, I thought it was the end of the world for these people.
Mm,
For these people, I'm sitting here like, man, no. Molly needs to stay. Molly needs to stay. Molly has the drip kits. Let's take a wait. Hold on. Let's take a pause
let's take a
and
pause here.
admire literally the best kits in Afghan, if not the best kits I've ever seen. I mean, straight up culture, man. I mean,
Fair.
you can literally wear that kit to an African function, and your mom wouldn't yell at you.
Oh, for sure. It
Yeah.
looks lovely in every sense of the word. No, I love it. Love it. The Malian kit is a nice kit.
Mm.
Is it top five in Africa? I'll ask that question as I bring in for the first time on the podcast. I am outnumbered by Kenyan descent because we have my boy Nelson, good sir, on to the show. I know you live in the dark screen right now, but Nelson,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you good, man.
Oh, nice.
How are you?
Hey, Nelson,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which part of Kenya you're from?
Nairobi.
All right, Nairobi.
Yeah.
My mom's from Eldoret.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you see this Cameroon play, that's with my dad, but I'm also half Kenyan because of my mother.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
Yeah, I went there I went there January of last year, so
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Like just Eldoret, or did you
Oh, I
go
went
around?
to I mostly stayed in Eldoret because that's my mom's hometown, and I did a little day trip to Mombasa.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Mombasa's nice.
Hmm.
Lovely tip. So yeah, if you guys again, this is the least serious one about recaps. We've talked about things, but Nelson, question for you: the Malian kit, is it top five in terms of best looking African kit at the moment?
Which Malian
On
kid? Sorry.
the white Mali kit.
No.
That's why I love you. You're so
Are you
sure of
saying top
yourself.
five?
Yeah, top five as in the best looking kit in Africa.
Best looking. Oh, we're talking looks?
Yeah. Yes, we're talking looks. Yes, we're talking looks.
I couldn't tell you.
Fair enough. Listen. This I appreciate
I
how
think,
quick you are with these.
I thought
Yeah.
you said. I thought you meant like.
Are they
What's
the
it
best
called?
looking team?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the top five here, but I mean, I think there is a slow possibility for a team like Mali to make a run here, but they can't be taking Reds like they were today. From what you saw of the game, because this is one African Canadian and a lot of Kenyans here now. So, welcome to East African football, and friend. But the question, like, how did you find Mali's performance versus Tunisia in this game?
Well, Mali have a good team, by the way.
They
Like,
do, yeah.
let's not just look at them as a, okay, team Sinayoko. I've been seeing a lot of European transfers, like a lot of clubs in Europe want him.
Mm.
Uh, Ives Bissouma. I don't know why. What's going on with him at Spurs? The guy
Mm.
should be playing, honestly.
He should be, but he's not.
But it's a good squad. I think Tunisia, if you have Hannibal Mejbri in the back, the fact that he actually got benched is a good thing. I don't think he's as good as he is. I'm a United fan, so I've definitely seen enough of Hannibal to let you know he's not good enough. He's just, he's got skill. He can dribble, but that's about it. But bro, they had a red card,
Yeah.
Mali, and still went deep. So you have to give him credit, man. Like,
Yeah, I think you do have to give them. They get the penalty at the end of the 90. True. I've seen this comment, and because you're here on here, I want to ask you: in terms of, because Steph calls them frauds. Tunisia's a side whenever they make the World Cup. I find I have the African sides I have the least faith in all the time, because like Algeria, I will at least go and try to score. Tunisia, I just feel like every time they play a bigger team, the plan is we hope for 1-0. Like that's the plan. The plan is defend, get a goal, and defend with your lives. But are they more because jump in?
Would you say that's how? Excuse me, but historically, that's how North African teams always played. Morocco played that way. Egypt played that way. It's why it never translated once they played on the world stage, right? Like, because they could defend against other African teams, but then they go to levels where the attack has more quality in there, and you saw a drop in form. So it's why Senegal are good. Like, it's why if you look at historically, the good Senegal teams, the good Nigerian teams, good Ghanaian teams, all attacked. Every single one of them. None of them were like defensive juggernauts. Yeah. The only one is Morocco in this last World Cup. But prior to that, the only ones that went through were good attacking teams.
No, I think that's where Morocco becomes fascinating within this tournament, but then also can they, within their full transition to a more complete side of how do you want to play, can they translate that on the world stage again once everyone knows that they're not just going to sit back and defend, they can attack from that standpoint. But like you did say, I think Mali are a good side. Like, I think sometimes we'll look at a side and we'll judge them based off of what happened at AF. I mean, Mali for me were one of my more disappointing teams during World Cup qualifiers. I thought they would have performed better. Now they finished third in their group behind Comoros and Ghana. So I genuinely thought Ghana was taking the intercontinental playoff route because I thought they weren't playing well enough to do it. Now, credit for Ghana, they got it together. But I thought Mali should have taken that group. And then Comoros would have made Ghana sweat for it. So them coming off of their disappointment in World Cup qualifiers, I wasn't quite sure which side they were going to get from them. But their performance against Morocco, to me, was okay, if they can duplicate this, but then actually finish a little bit better, I think they have quarterfinals to semifinals possibility. Not guaranteed, but I think possibility. Right now, they're in the quarters, and they've kind of shown that there. We got Mo jumping in, so right now we got Kenya, we got happy Senegal over here. Any more players you want me to insult, Mo? Like, I can talk about Nicholas Jackson so he can finish next game. I can do that for you if you want me to do that.
I don't know. Well, I think we do have a lot of French-speaking folks. So currently in Senegal, a lot of people are calling him rattaquant.
Oh.
Parce que il rate tout le temps, alors c'est un attaquant, alors rattaquant.
Yeah.
Just to the fact that he's not scoring.
Fair enough.
But
fair.
I don't know. It's a valid point, but I think the only question is he going to be given more chances, or giving the other folks that sort of showed what they're capable of doing, and the 17-year-old that you guys mentioned. But at this point, why fix something that's not really broken? Just let him play, get everybody tired, and then bring one of the young kids to just butcher tired legs.
Yeah. I think, John, were you going to jump in there, Anu?
Yeah, so I do have something to say about Mali. I think people forget. I think some people did forget about this, right? But I remember a couple of years ago, I remember I was reading about their U17 team that played in the U17 World Cup, and that to me just tells me that this team was something that was rising in the ranks of African football. Hence why I think some of those players that were in that Malian team transitioned away into the first team, and in turn we saw what we saw today with Mali. Even down when 10 men was still able to get through impossible odds.
True, but I also think That's a fair point. The one thing I like youth tournaments. The one point I'll push back on is youth tournaments can show you the potential, but
Mhm.
there's a difference when being the best at an age group versus being the best professionally,
Yeah.
right? And so you can be the best 17 to 20-year-old, but once you get to the senior, you're not trying to be the best 21-year-old. You're trying to be one of the top 3 at a position to make that squad. And that's
Mhm.
where the pool goes from 100 players to 400 players. So the one thing that Mali has struggled to do, because we've seen them at the youth level, the U17s, U20s,
Mhm.
both in Africa and at the FIFA level, they've performed well.
Mhm.
They haven't been able to put that together on, say, the pitch as consistently as other teams have. I would argue a team like even like Gambia has done a better job of transitioning their youth players to the national team and getting them to contribute. Still don't have a defense. Gambia is all gas, no brakes, but they have done a better job there than Mali. And you would argue Mali has a deeper pick of youth players. But just because you're potentially filled, like just because you're filled with potential, doesn't mean that you'll hit it. And so for Mali, it's a lot of
You know
what ifs.
why
Yeah.
I when you look at U20, you and we've had multiple conversations about
Yeah.
youth football in general,
Mhm.
and one of the reasons why African teams actually play well in the U20s, U18s, I think it's because of the physical development that African players have at the youth stage, you can go all the way back. John Obi Mikel was rated higher than Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a second. So if you remember that period, you would know. Like I remember, as I said, I'm a Manchester United fan, so I remember John Obi Mikel was supposed to go to United, and then I see a Chelsea flag at the back there. I don't see it more. And eventually he went to Chelsea. But what I mean is, on the youth stage, it doesn't translate because if you're physically bigger, once the guys who have technical ability but don't have the physicality yet, once they get a lot more physicality, you see the slow, like the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden you were dominating, and then oh, you're a Chelsea fan too. Oh my days, you guys have terrible taste.
Look, I'm not
But
getting listen. I won a game finally, Nelson. I got nothing to say.
and he has a great point on like the age difference, and I think that's
Yeah.
even why the US is changing from grade level to age level, and
Mhm.
now I think even in France and other places they have like a and B section because they want to make sure that those that have reached their peak in like puberty and others are the one that usually make it to the senior youth level, and then they play in those tournaments, and those the ones that the B level that have not reached that level yet, and usually it's unfair to them that like in the US where some of those B level kids that have not reached their peak gets to play against those that have already reached it. And
Yeah.
that's why you see African countries, which the bad stereotype that says you're more athleticism,
Yeah.
and that's why it comes to part to where I guess some of our genes kind of help us to sport like things a little faster, we'll call it. So that makes total sense on that section where Mali showing in the 17 and U20s so well. But if you watch the senior team, there's maybe two of them.
Just two good
Yeah.
players, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yes, and those are actually played in youth levels. The others played outside of the country, in outside of the national team altogether, and then just came at their peak level. Where the other countries that are doing well these days, you see 15, 20 kids coming from U17 all the way to U23 and senior play together for some of those guys have played what 10, 15 years together.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference from there. So
and when you look at like, because Senegal, now Mo, I haven't met you before, so I'm really happy to hear that a Senegalese fan is here, and I just want to understand what exactly has Senegal done to create so many good talents all at once.
So I think it's almost like twofold. Um, the first one is, the colonies, the French colonies in Senegal.
Mm-hmm.
That's how parted. But then also the region of Paris where we're from, for example,
Mm-hmm.
every year there's about what 10 to 17 players that have made senior level somewhere either in Ligue 1, 2, or
Mm-hmm.
outside of the country.
Mm-hmm.
But also the parties that we've all grew up in the French system, quote unquote.
Mm.
And then some of the players that have played professional in France,
Mm-hmm.
they now go and create their own satellite in Senegal
Mm.
in connection with some of the French team. Like Sadio Mane, for example, the academy he was in first,
Mm-hmm.
Metz had former players there.
Yeah.
And so they were able to kind of get him the pathway to go to Ligue 1 and prove himself. And then you're starting to see the movement of like, hey, we know these kids are coming up. Then you have the whole diaspora of families
Mm-hmm.
where I think one thing with French soccer in Senegal is that when you're Senegalese, right, you grew up Senegalese in France, even though we're 100% French,
Mm-hmm.
but our parents talk to us in Wolof. Your neighborhood, it's Senegalese. Your, I mean, I think us growing up, you say, what? I had a mom that was Haitian. I had a mom that was Moroccan. I had a mom that was from Cameroon. I had an Indian mom. All of those cultures kind of brings you where you still have the tie to your African country a lot more tighter than what other national teams can have. That's why Morocco can say, I'm gonna go play for Morocco. It's not just because they woke up yesterday and said, you know what, France, it's too stack up. I'm gonna go for Morocco. No, it's like it was instilled in you. Morocco is the place. Senegal is the place. Every summer we used to go to Senegal. Every summer we could, like during the summertime when everybody's like, oh, school is over. Your friends is like, oh, I'm going to Algeria. I'm going to Morocco. I'm going to Senegal. I'm going to Morocco. I'm going to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have that connection to the motherland. You speak the language. You play with them. So it's much easier for them to make the pick. I watched you guys talking about the Mbai, right? Who in their right mind will think that a 17-year-old where Didier Deschamps had you in your list to pick? It's just that you're so stacked that he kind of got forgotten a little bit, but he was known. He was next up. Paris Saint-Germain had him. You're next up. But you can be in the middle of Africa and still have the same social media presence. That's no longer a blocker. You can have the sponsors. That's no longer a blocker. I mean, everything that's commercial like now for those players no longer a blocker, and they don't have to play for a European countries to get a deal that's life changing. That's what makes it kind of level now, especially for those younger ones now, because while he played for Paris Saint-Germain, he was in the academy, he was ready to be in first team, but they played the cards right, and look at him now. He probably would have not made it to the French national team per se, but maybe not have the same opportunity that he has now. And he's not even starting, but yet here we are, we're talking about it.
He's not starting, but I think from the outside looking in, the pathway seems a lot clearer for him.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at him and say, yeah, he's a promising left winger, cool. Look, we all love Sadio Mane, but like the pathway, you look at that as like, yeah, Mane will play this year, maybe another year. But you're 17 by 1920, that left wing is probably yours at the national team level. right? Assuming there. And the pathway looks a lot cleaner than if you look at France and it's like, oh, who do you want to play over? Like, Olise? Sure. Okay. I mean, maybe you'll have to do well. And that's just one player. And so I think, and we said it off the top, once you expand the World Cup, the options are always going to be there. And if you're a federation, you're not, recruitment doesn't mean you call them and they come up immediately. Like for him coming immediately is not very common, right? Usually you'll get them at 21, 22, maybe 24. 23, 24 is usually where like, okay, yeah, they tried, we tried to make the England team.
You and I have talked about this before. Because the thing is, I know I don't usually show up on the channel, so you guys might not know. Kwasi and I talk football.
I refer to him a lot. He's the friend I refer to a lot with the takes all the time. So,
but one of the things I called this. Kwasi had said that he believed Morocco was a better team, and I have been maintaining for a very, very long time Senegal is the best team in Africa, and by the way, I don't even think it's close. Like, so Pape Gueye. I don't know if I pronounce his name correctly, but Pape Gueye. Yeah. Okay, so Pape. I'll say Pape. Who plays for Villarreal, previously played for Marseille. Do I have that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Marseille.
Yeah. So when Pape he was always good. He was just extremely, like, not raw. I wouldn't say raw. He's like a super physical player. But when you look at De Zerbi likes more technical players.
Yes.
But it's not that Pape doesn't have technical ability. He's just more of the super physical guy, period. It's like Sarr. Sarr's super physical, but he does have technique with him. That, to me, when I saw every single player I see in that squad, I'm like, and by the way, and I know that's going to sound crazy, Mo, but once you guys drop Mane, you guys are a legit scary team, in my opinion. I think once Sadio Mane is dropped, you guys will become really scary because you can then change your formation and add Lamine Camara. It is insane that Lamine Camara is not starting as being one of the best midfielders in Europe this season. It's ridiculous that he hasn't started.
Wow. You've been listening to all the Senegalese spaces and
I know, right?
And I think that's the beauty of it. I think it's probably Mane's last AFCON, and he's playing like it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's one of those moments where it's like he's breaking records. He's playing all games, which is still surprising.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the fact that he's still. We might as well let him do what he wants to do and play as long as he produces. And I'm sure that the moment there's a slight decline, that's when you have hungry players coming in. And I think, like you mentioned, right, they have 22 starters technically out of a roster of 26. And there's 4 guys that were now allowed. The Senegalese Federation actually shrunk the roster. There's 4 backups that were not allowed to join. And when the young kid Dow was injured that's when we took one of those extra one and we brought him in. So there's 3 guys that technically were not allowed to come as well.
So, when you look at the bench, and I'd love for I feel like I've been, ever since I joined, I've just taken over. Apologies.
Oh no, Nelson!
I'll shut the hell up after this.
Listen, I don't have to talk to you right now. You can, sir, go take it.
Just go.
Yeah.
But bro, like, it's ridiculous. You have Pape Matar, who's amazing at Spurs. You have Pat Sis. You have Lamine Camara. These are people who are not starting. I'm Kenyan. I would take all of them immediately. Every single one of them starts for us. Ndiaye doesn't start for them. He starts sometimes, he gets dropped. And by the way, I think Iliman Ndiaye is one of the most underrated players.
Agreed.
I think he's so good.
He's moving.
And like, I actually think he's been hot and cold, but I think if you play him more, the fact that he defends really well, he attacks very well. If you put him in Mane's spot, I think he improves the team significantly. And that's the only issue that I find with Senegal is that they should win this AFCON, but there's probably going to be a lot of like political stuff in the background that would stop them from winning. But to me, I really like Senegal because I know they played today. They beat Sudan, but I love the team. It's my favorite African team that is in my own country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for them not to wait to get punched in the face to wake up.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes.
And that is the worry, because a team like that, the talent is there, but at some point you, like you said, have to wake up and play the full game, or at some point you're just going to sleepwalk through the game, and then they'll wake up and be like, what do you mean we lost 2-1? What we were, and like that's the worry with that. That's my worry with them, because on paper, again, bar for bar, I prefer Morocco over Senegal just because I like how they've been playing more recently, and that's fine. I think that's do you like granny apples or do you like a green apple?
Yeah, they're both great teams.
Yeah, they're both great teams. But the difference with them is I think Senegal feels like a side that almost, whether it's fair or not that they don't respect the opposition, but they haven't got up for a team yet, right? They kind of feel like, okay, oh, you've done this. Oh, Sudan, you scored. Okay, well, let's go into second gear now and show you what we can. I haven't seen them more recently. Even when they play DRC in World Cup qualifiers, they're down 2-0, and then it's like, oh, okay, no. Let's remind them of who we are. You're still kind of waiting for that performance where it's from start to finish. There's no doubt.
But you know why they don't get into second gear? Like, we have our Cameroon confused Chelsea friend, but we'll change him by the end of the episode.
Man, come on, man, you're my brother, dog.
Yeah, I know you're my. But when you said Chelsea, that's a Cameroonian side of you. So that's not the Kenyan side. The Kenyan side is telling you we change teams, but the Cameroonian side is like Chelsea. And I get it. You had Eto'o. Eto'o was at Chelsea. I hear you. I hear you. By the way, but like. I
know Arsenal's religious over there. Most of my family over there are Arsenal.
Dude, so. Yeah. My whole I'm the only United fan. Everyone in my family is all Arsenal. Everyone. Yeah. But to like look at Cameroon, for instance, which is also a good country, has good players. But like if Baleba's injured, the next guy who comes in is nowhere near that level. If Mbumo's injured, the level drops significantly. Senegal can drop the whole starting 11, put a new 11 up, the level's still the same.
Yeah.
Literally still the same. Maybe only the goalkeeper. Mendy's the only one who, to be fair, like if he's not there, then the level has really dropped. But every other position, I could argue you could put a team actually better than what played Sudan.
And that's what's going to bother me tomorrow.
The South Africa game?
Yeah, that's what's going to bother me tomorrow with the South Africa game team, because that's another team in itself that also has some good quality, some good depth and quality around them. In Cameroon, like you said, if we lose one of those players, the gap between the two is immense.
Yeah. No. It's, and look, as a Kenyan, we have like one or two good players once every 5 years. So when we do get one, I understand the feeling. And to be South Africa, I've been disrespecting South Africa because it's been years since I saw a good South African team. This one's not bad. Like this team, this AFCON is actually really good. I wouldn't be shocked if South Africa beat Cameroon. It'd be an upset, but I wouldn't be like if Tanzania beats Morocco, that's an upset.
Yeah.
If South Africa beats Cameroon, I wouldn't be shocked.
Throw the bracket away.
Yeah.
Throw the bracket away.
If that happens, we're just like, okay, so we could have made you money yesterday, but this was where the money was. But no, I don't think South Africa beating Cameroon is an upset, because again, on paper, the better players are with Cameroon, but I think as a unit, South Africa
as a
is
squad,
is a better squad on the same level. And again, the level drop, right, is
it's
not going to be as
significant.
significant.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I mean, you already saw it before the AFCON. Like Edzo had an argument with the coach, fired the coach, and then next you know we wound up having two separate lists of the roster, and we don't know which one's the real one. I also put the fact that they didn't put in Vincent Abubakar in the team because Edzo doesn't want his record to be broken.
That's crazy. Is that why?
Well, that's what I'm hearing. But
it's the rumors, but I think it's just trying to gaslight.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
But let's be honest, you kind of have to give Eto some props because if Onana went through, you guys would have been knocked out right now.
Don't remind me, man. I'm literally whenever I'm watching Manchester United with my Manchester friends, I'm sitting here and they all know I'm Cameroonian, so they're like, and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. And like, yeah.
You got a chat there.
Yeah, I see it. Haven't seen South Africa this term, but usually they are technically good and pass the ball well. I've expected them to do well in past tournaments, and they have disappointed me so far. So I don't know. I mean, they made the semifinals of the last tournament. Now, granted, they had an easy draw.
No, they made it to the final.
No, it was semis.
Semis.
They lost to South Africa, Nigeria in penalties.
That game felt like a final.
I thought that I spent that entire tournament saying Nigeria, this is where Nigeria falls because you can't look that ugly defending and somehow win 1-0 all the time. And finally they played a team that could score. Because that was a problem. Like if you watch a South Africa Nigeria game, if South Africa had a better striker in that semifinal, that game is like 4-2 for South Africa. Because they had the runs, but it was just like he had no touch. His first touch was atrocious for the Canadians out there. Kyle Larin-like. It was atrocious. And so it just was terrible. But if they had something better, they would have finished them off. But then Nigeria, did the Nigeria things and made it to the finals. But no, South Africa, I think, again, the levels of drop will be there. On paper, like, it's a pick 'em for me. Like, either team wins it, I'm not surprised. I am picking South Africa.
Yeah, I'm picking South Africa, by the way. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. But like South Africa, remember, South Africa is also the only team to have beat Morocco in the last, I don't know how many years, like an African team. They're the last ones. South Africa, good. Like, because they're technically sound. That's one thing about them is, as the comment said, he's got it spot on, but they're an extremely technical side. And Cameroon just isn't right now.
I mean, Nelson, for pride's sake, I pick Cameroon.
No, you have to.
For pride's sake, I have to pick Cameroon. But I just know that South Africa is gonna give us the business.
You guys have better players, like individual. Just the squad isn't meshing.
I don't know. It's just there. Now, what I need is for Kenya to step it up in 2027.
Brother,
right?
I don't know what you're smoking, but there's no chance we are ever going to be decent.
I don't get it, man. I'm from Adoret, man. The city of champions, dog.
With the right infrastructure, you'll have your luck.
No, Mo, you guys don't understand how bad our federations are. Like Kenya's football federation, I'm not kidding. If we got our asses in order, apologies for swearing, but if we got everything in order, we genuinely would be a good squad. We would be a good team. Because a lot of DRC players are Kenyans. A lot of Somali players are Kenyans. A lot of Tanzanian players are Kenyans. The only reason they don't choose us is because our football federation is full of like tribalism and corruption, just like every other African country.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but like ours is crazy. Because as you said, the way you explained so eloquently, Mo, like how, you guys, when you're in Paris, you all believe, yes, I'm Senegalese. I'm gonna support when I get to a certain age, I'm gonna represent Senegal. There's no chance a Kenyan does that.
Yeah, I mean, you put it like this, right? You put it like this. Kenya is like India, obsessed with football.
Yeah.
So obsessed they will kill each other.
Yeah.
If you talk bad about their club. But national team wise, we are so bad.
Okay, I'll give you a great example. We had a player who he played for Al Ahly in Saudi.
Yes.
I think that was in Saudi or Qatar, one of the two. Really good striker. You know what I'm going to argue? He was our best striker. The problem is Dennis Oliech, who was he's like Kenya's best ever striker. He's garbage. You guys don't know about him. You might know maybe more because of the French. He played in Nantes. But he was, yeah. So he was good. He was actually a good striker. He saw the guy, knew this guy was going to break his record. And he played like 5 games for the national team and never played again. Never. We never saw him again. And he was leading for Kenya for like 10 years. If you look at his club record, he never played for us. Just because he was from the wrong tribe, wrong this, wrong that. It's so stupid. So we honestly, maybe in 10, 15 years, because now the new generation don't really care about those stupid things. But anyone my age and older, they still have those stupid thought processes.
Oh, we're gonna be such trash at AFCON.
We would be terrible. I would never want us to be there. Not now. Give us 10 years.
Well, you guys are hosting the next one.
And I think that's the great thing that you mentioned, right? The younger those federations starting to be like, the more you erase them. And that's why I give Eto'o so much praise, is that when he showed up to the federation, he does not need the money. He's already rich. So for him and the others that are coming in now,
pride.
they're already rich. They don't. The money is not their problem. Now they're all pride. I heard Eto'o, right? I think when he was reelected, or from the very beginning, when he went to the locker room, he was talking to all of the players, and it looks like the young Eto'o, right? He blasted them all. He's if you don't play, if you don't sweat for the badge, I will just kick you out. And he showed his ripped jersey. That he's like, this is what I play for. If you guys are not willing to do this, you're out.
Yeah.
Older generation will not do that.
Oh, right?
They will like sweep your pockets and then they will leave you alone. And I think that's why when you guys say Kenya might not be one of those teams, is I think now they have the blueprint for everybody else is improving in the continent of Africa. Like everybody.
Well, you saw it with Chan, like, because Chan was hosted in Kenya. We beat Morocco, we beat DRC, we drew with Angola, we beat Zambia. By the way, these are teams we never beat. These are teams we never even draw against. But the reason why that was so different is the government actually didn't want us to look like crap. So they paid them. Like they were getting paid $10,000 per game. That switched, changed the whole way they played.
Listen,
you gotta eat.
Yeah.
That badge gets kissed after that.
And I think that's a great point, right? A handful of players from those national teams don't need the money. They know they're settled.
Yeah.
All of the fighting is not for them. And that's why I watched Nigeria and I always defend them. Like, yes, Osimhen is talking about the money, but he's not talking about for himself. He just spent 10 million on a chain. He does not care about
that chain.
Right? It's everybody else from the coaching staff and everybody else that's not getting the money. European teams don't have to worry about that. That's why they can come at their best. They know they have 5-star hotels, 5-star chefs.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's praising Morocco now, because these players, some of them have never gone to a 5-star hotel. They have to train in dirt. Now they're going to Morocco. They're getting 5-star chefs, 5-star training ground. You know what they're going to say to the federation when they go home now?
Yeah, you need to focus.
Yeah, you need to step up, or else we're not coming.
Wait, hold on. We got to check. We got to check
Yeah.
Nigeria real quick because I remember Nigeria was not the Nigerian Federation did not put them in good hotels during that playoff.
Do you see the pictures?
Oh yeah.
Well, that wasn't even a one-star hotel.
Yeah. And do you imagine you literally saying that your player that's, we'll say Osimhen, right? He's worth $70-something million. You have the audacity to bring that player and say, "Here's a 5-star." Like,
now, and then after that, say now go play for the country because we love you so much. ... Really?
The whole purpose of those things is you take care of your players.
Yeah.
They will come. One, they will come, and two, they will tell their friends and tell their former teammates. They will tell everybody else, "Oh, look what we're getting. This is how you will get treated," and then people will show up. That's why the older generation did not go to play for African countries, because they played games with them.
Yes,
true.
That I agree.
Now they don't. That kid Mai has every single shoe dealer from Nike to Skechers are fighting for his signature, and he plays for Senegal. Like 10, 15 years ago, that was never heard of.
Yeah, you'd have to be like the best player out of Africa. Yeah, you'd have to be the best. Like only one or two of you. Do you guys? I've got a question for everyone here.
Yeah.
Do you think in the next 3 World Cups we get to see an African team in the final? In the African World in the World Cup final? Yeah.
Yes, I'm going
to the next 4
cycle. I will guarantee it.
I think
I agree. By the way,
3. I think in the next 3 we can get one. Yeah, in the final, not winning, just the final. Yeah.
I can see it winning depending on which team is up there.
Yeah.
You can see it happen. Like, let's be honest. I think if Morocco got to the final, there was a good chance they win it. To be honest with you,
shoot, man.
If they make sure that Ibrahim and Bai plays like that for the next 2 cycles, and then they're on their prime in their mid-30s.
Yeah,
that's the 3rd World Cup.
No, you agree.
And then you surround them with.
There's an argument there.
I think Morocco is the easy pick for that right now, because like Morocco, it's not just the recruiting or the infrastructure. Like they are finding the players, like we talked about youth players integrating into their national team. They have their U20 captain on the team right now, right? Fresh off being Argentina in the finals. He's on the team right now, and they can recruit. They can walk into any dressing room in Europe and find anyone who has a piece of Maghreb in them and just like, listen, you know the resume, this is where we see you, are you in? And I think they can more easily do that. But I think from what right now, the easy choice to do it is Morocco. The low key, the next best choice is a big if they get their act together. So I don't think they will. So we're gonna leave Nigeria on the side. I think it has to be Senegal. It's those two are the best chances in the next 3 cycles.
But if we're being honest, Nigeria has the best team in Africa. The problem with Nigeria is they're just stupid.
The goalie and they're stupid. Yes.
No. Just the guys playing. Like they don't listen to each other. You literally see it. Iwobi's confused as to what's going on. When Osimhen makes a run, no one plays him the ball. Nobody. It's shocking.
I have justifiably seen Nigerians crash out every time I see Nigeria. Every time I see Nigeria make these mistakes, you could see it in their. You could see it in their faces, man.
It's why would you do that?
It's wild It's wild that you have that much quality, and it's just, and you just fail so hard.
I think it's the African arrogance that we've always talked about for any African teams. Is that one cycle when they're very good and they're on top of the world, the next tournament, their head is so big that they cannot fit through a door.
Yeah.
And then they crash. And I think that's what we're failing to do, where we cannot have an African country go to 2 World Cup cycles and perform. It's always one and done.
Yeah. Which is why I think that's why I like what Morocco was doing. Because like the closest thing we've seen to that in the recent history is what Ghana did from 06 to 10, where 6 they win the group surprisingly, and then 10 it's you're one penalty away from the semifinals, or you're one PK from the semifinals. And I think the best part about that story is like I watched that in a sports bar and it was just one Ghanaian fan, which is me and one guy from Uruguay. So we were just like, look, we're not going to hate each other from each side. So let's just do this and enjoy this.
But if you look on Nigeria's main, like, they have the best strike in the. I think, is it the best strike in the world? No, Haaland exists. Second best strike in the world. They have Ademola Lookman, who's one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. Iwobi, decent player. Bassi, really good player. Ndidi, really good player. Like, there's a point where you look at that team and you go, and by the way, the second team is just as good.
Yeah.
Like, Chukwueze is a really good player. Plays for, now, I think he went on loan to Fulham, I think. I know he was bought by AC Milan, but I think he plays for Fulham.
He's at, there's a lot of the Nigerian connection at Fulham.
Yeah.
He's strong.
Oh, yeah, because of the Iwobi thing, which is good, because if he plays with Iwobi, they should have a connection. He should be starting every bloody game, but they don't. Again,
the question is, who's the leader in the Nigerian camp?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. I don't see it.
Because some players are like, they're all great. Like sometimes it looks like the hierarchy is set. It's Osimhen, and then like because there's sometimes it's like, well, no, it doesn't matter what we're doing. He's getting the cross. He might miss 13 of them, but he's getting the cross.
I think I would argue it's Ndidi.
But that's just him as the player because he can make something happen.
Yeah,
but it is not. We're going to play for him.
No, I think if there was going to be a leader, it would be Ndidi because Ndidi is like one of the older ones. He's played at a high level. And I don't know if you've ever seen him. Ndidi looks like a hard guy, like someone you don't mess around with.
Yeah. Like, and Nuku, I think, is the other co-captain.
Yes.
I've not heard any other countries that have a co-captain. That's
never makes sense. If one says one thing, the other one's arguing with them. They go back and forth. Yeah.
The captain, when the captain says something, the co-captain goes.
Yeah. Like for so long, I used to think Sadio Mane was like a really nice guy. Like he seemed like a really quiet, very humble. And then when which guy joined? There was a Senegalese player who joined. It was Nicholas Jackson. When Nicholas Jackson joined, he went to the Chelsea players and told them, "Don't you dare do anything to my boy." And people started saying. Then the rumors started coming out like. Man is serious. Man is not someone you talk like. He doesn't joke around. Then obviously he went to Bayern Munich and he punched someone up.
He knocked someone out.
Every great one has those moments, but
No, but that's what I mean. Like that's when you realize, when they choose him as captain, there's a reason.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, you will
jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's like all of those great players usually have a little bit of that edge.
Yes, they do.
And if you think about it, though, right? Well, Zinedine Zidane is a hard head, but he was also quiet. But if you press the right button or the wrong button,
Zidane was a hard head.
He slapped his teammate. I think it's one of those moments where. You need those characters in the team, right? So you can kind of show the other players. And I think that's why we always try to look in each of the African countries. For example, it's like, who is that player that yes, everybody knows they're the best, and that if all fails, we're still going to center around them. That's why Argentina won the World Cup, right? Everybody was in agreement. This is probably be Messi's last World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
What did they all do?
Oh, they
It's
went and
him.
won that.
They have players that their sole job, even though they're great players, they know their
Mhm.
sole job is to protect him.
Yeah.
Every team that's currently playing well now in the AFCON, you
Mhm.
should be able to point at that player that says Mohamed Salah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to
Hakimi.
be able to point each
Yeah.
of their leaders,
Yeah.
but if you cannot, then there's a question as of like, when you're down, are you going to come back?
Who's Cameroon's captain, by the way?
I know, isn't it? I know Cam Nuhu is one of them.
I know,
He's
yeah,
the
I know
co-captain.
Nuhu was one of them, but I don't think he was. I gotta look at. I don't know if he was. Let me go out this thing, man.
You take a look at that. I've been sitting on this question because we've talked about like good sides, quality sides, all the things. One asked this question, and I liked it for you guys. So as we're doing it, I'll put it up here for you. Who do you think are the 3 best technical teams at the tournament? Just pure technical ability, not necessarily results, just pure who have looked the best on the pitch technically.
Who have looked the best, or who is the best teams technically? Those are 2 different questions.
They are 2 different questions. So who has looked the best? Who your best technical teams? Yeah, and who's the captain?
Is Nuhu.
Oh, Nuhu.
Yeah.
For me, I would say it's Morocco, Senegal. I don't want to say Algeria because I don't think Algeria have been. Nah.
Well, it's Algeria or DRC, and one of them will be gone by Wednesday. So,
you know what? No, because it can't be Algeria because what's his name? The guy who got benched the first game and then played the second game on fire. He's a winger. Damn it, can't remember. Okay, I would argue just so that I don't hold the. I would say South Africa, Morocco, and South Africa, Morocco, and probably. Do I go Egypt? Because Egypt's also super technical. Let's be fair. You can have Mamouche, you can have Salah without being super technical.
Yeah.
Those guys are proper technical ballers. I'd say those 3, probably.
That's fair. I don't know what you got.
I would say Morocco. Morocco. I do agree with Egypt. With the Egypt side, and I will give Senegal their flowers.
Yeah, Senegal are really good.
Yeah.
No, that's a solid. Again, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer for the teams that we're picking. If someone says Mozambique, I have questions for you. But I would say, again, Morocco definitely is on the list. I'm South Africa, and I'm stuck between, like, I kind of want to give it to DRC here just because they've looked better based off of the players
because they can dribble.
There.
They got players who can dribble. Is that why?
yeah. I'm a simple mind. No, but yeah, I think that's where I'll start to sway or lean there. But
like, what do you mean by Morocco, technical ability? Like, for instance, they have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a technical player. Like, they have individual brilliant players. They're not a technical team. They if you sit in a low block and you're trying to break them down, or sorry, if they're playing a team that's sitting in a low block and they're trying to break that team down, I don't think they've got the necessary players to do it. They've got good players. I like Masuaku. I like Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I like them, but I know that they can't break down teams. I know I've named defenders that should be talking about the wingers, midfielders, and so on. But that's my point is, like Siddiqui isn't breaking teams down when they're sitting in a low block. But when you look at teams like Morocco, they will break you down. Brahim Diaz will break you down. When you look at Egypt, Marmoush, Salah, they will break you down. When you go to Senegal, to be fair, like Senegal's a good shot. Senegal will break you down. And if they don't break you down, they just go through. They have the guys with size who they can just cross to. It's easy to break down when you have a 6'3" striker.
It's true. You just have to get the ball over the defender, and then it's height wins, go. But so I think for me, I'll just go with what Steph said here. Well, I won't have Congo. I'll go Morocco. I'll go South Africa, and then Senegal. But we'll see how it is. Steph saying Egypt is a 2-man team. Hey, put respect to Trezeguet. Trezeguet's out there on occasion. He does.
No, that's scandalous to say when it comes to Egypt. Egypt, like, are they top heavy? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, those two are so good. But yeah, Trezeguet is good, man. They've got some good players. Like come on.
Yeah.
I mean, Hamdi's really good.
Mm-hmm. Like they have good players, and yes, just because they only get past South Africa because one, at the very least, dodgy penalty. Your best players came through for you. That's what you kind of want you to do.
Yeah.
And at this level, this competition, when everything is equal, you need your best players to push you over the edge. And if you don't, then the units.
And let's be clear, Egypt has the best national league in Africa. It's either them or Morocco, one of the two.
Yeah.
But Egypt have a very good national league. So players who come from the national league side are no jokes. Yeah. Like, they're better than a lot of African teams. If you're looking at your African team and it has a national league player, just know they're lower level than whoever they're bringing up from Egypt. That's just a fact, dude. Like, for a long time, African players would go to Egypt.
Yeah.
You know, they'd play in Egypt. And then we started moving to, the Gulf.
Yep. It's lovely this time of the year. Yeah, and then if you take that same comparison with South Africa, that's a top 3 league. If some would argue top 2. So you're playing the best of the best, and the only difference is one player who plays for, or 2 players who are in the Prem. One's at City, one's at Liverpool, and when they're on, they're on. And
didn't Mamelodi Sundowns play in the
Club World Cup?
Club World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they played in that one game. Which was delayed for several hours in Orlando. I remember watching that, and I was like, there's nobody there.
But like, we got I think they performed admirably there. Like, they weren't killed, but they showed well. So I think you have to give that respect. But so even within that, lovely time. We've gone everywhere and nowhere. True. You can take a top 2, as I mentioned, and they'll be fine. You take out top 2 from Egypt, they're on the way. Listen, I will say no to that statement, because I've seen an Egypt team, a primarily Egypt local team, run amok in Africa for the better part of a decade and a half. So listen, the top tier players helps you. We saw did
they win like
4 AFCONs in a row?
In African Champions Leagues, like, in a row.
Yeah.
They dominated that competition for so long.
Yeah. Egypt's one of the few teams. South Africa's there too, but Egypt's one of the few teams where they say, "Oh, it's just a local team." It's like, so you still prepare. They can get the result against you at that age. So I'll push back on that there, but I think that is a fair. Before we wrap this here, we have our games that are tomorrow. I know we talked about South Africa, Cameroon, but the other matchup that we have coming up tomorrow is, that's not really a matchup. Morocco, Tanzania. So are we all just saying, Morocco, you better win, because I don't have enough time to make a what happened to Morocco failure 2025 video.
Hey, look, I'm just saying Morocco got in a bag, but I say, look, man, don't make me put out the fraud watch on you.
Listen, you were right on Gabon, which hey, good on you for that. Even though I still maintain if Aubameyang just hits the frame, it's a different game. But hey, we don't play the ifs game, we play the results game, and that's where it is. Other Nelson, I haven't had your predictions here, but Egypt Benin, you think Egypt gets past that for
Brother,
Monday?
what are
Listen,
we talking about?
I agree. Algier, okay, it's a Tuesday. We're all here for the Tuesday matchups here. Algier versus DR Congo, and then Ivory Coast versus Burkina Faso. Where are you leaning on those two?
Ivory Coast. I think Ivory Coast have two excellent wingers. Zaha is also not bad. I think they just have just enough to beat Burkina Faso. Algeria versus DRC. I'm going Algeria. DRC are a very good team, but if you look at them historically, whenever it comes to high pressure games, they tend to struggle every time. They if this game was in like the group stages, DRC every game, every game. But just because of the pressure, I say Algeria.
Fair. I think that I can respect that take. I think we had this conversation on Mo's channel yesterday. I think DRC have been one of the more consistent performing teams outside of high pressure situations. But they made the final round of World Cup qualifying 4 years ago, but then choked against Morocco. They made the semifinals of the last AFCON, and then they're in the IC playoff here. I think for DRC, it's semifinals are a bust for them. I would argue even finals are a bust for them because you can't be that consistently getting near. You need something to show for it. And so I think DRC, I'm picking DRC to win, but also there's pressure on them. If they had all those good results, then now they're out in the round 16, we have questions. We certainly do have questions about them. But I'm going DRC there, and then the other one, I went Burkina Faso over Cote d'Ivoire. They do have two good wing. I went Burkina Faso over Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah. What? What is going on? How?
I've not been. I don't think Cote d'Ivoire have been convincing in this group stage. Now, granted, and I did say this yesterday, this is the same side that was walked over by Emilio Ensu, and then they made the round of 16, and then they went on the run. And so you can never doubt that. But I just have a feeling that it's Burkina Faso that gets past them in this round.
I mean, I'm just gonna be real with it, man. Cote d'Ivoire just had the biggest juju I've ever seen in my life. How they resurrected like Jesus Christ and made their way to win the whole thing in Cote d'Ivoire. So,
but you're saying you don't rate the Ivory Coast team?
I rate them.
I mean, I rate them, but I don't think they're going to win against Burkina Faso.
Yeah, I just like Burkina in this matchup here. I think Burkina have looked better to me. Just if I take World Cup qualifying matters, but I'm pushing Burkina Faso them in the sense of I think they might put a little bit more into this and get past them. I could be wrong, but I'm leaning with them.
Yeah, because I mean, I said the same thing because I said this with Nigeria. Well, Nigeria heavily because they were, like I said, they were the team with the highest quality, have some of the highest quality players, and this tournament is their bread and butter because they're not going to play anything competitive for almost a year due to them not making it to the World Cup, and also going as far as saying, "Hey, wait a minute, there was some ineligible players in that Congo side or something." I don't know.
Look, they're trying to get to the World Cup anyways. I just say, look, tickets are $400 in Toronto. Just watch it with a fan with all of us. We'll put you out of your misery in that way.
Yeah, just go. I hope the fan zones there are free.
Listen, it's mortgage payment versus tickets right now, so we'll see who wins that. But for the fans to enjoy. But Nelson, you sound surprised I'm going with Fasao over Cote d'Ivoire.
Burkina Faso over Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
Like that's like I don't know. That's insane to me. I think Cote d'Ivoire are I don't even think it's like close. I think Cote d'Ivoire have a significantly better squad. I think they've played extremely well.
Okay.
I'm not joking. I actually think they played well, even in games where you might think they're struggling. Because the thing about them that I think were also why I rate Senegal more is because of the balance.
Okay.
And when you look at Ivory Coast is balance.
Mm-hmm.
Right wing, left wing, crazy balance.
Mm-hmm.
Their midfield and defense, rock solid. The one position they don't have a clear good player, striker. That's it. But Amad Diallo, who's leading in the goal race right now?
Let me.
Who's the top scorer in the?
You're saying this as if you know this, but let me just pull it up.
I just want to check. I just want to say I don't know who it is.
You use Opta right now, I guess. I mean,
his tone is very specific.
I mean, to me, we were doing our round of 16 predictions. We were pretty much putting up the obvious, and we just said we want to see some. We just want to see something chaotic happen.
Mm-hmm.
We did see it today, but we did majority said that we have Burkina Faso over Cote d'Ivoire, mostly because we just want the chaos.
So we have 3 players or 4 players with 3 goals. Snyoko has 3, El Kabi has 3, Brahim Diaz has 3,
and then a bunch with 2. Because Ahmad has 2 goals.
Yeah, Diallo has 2. Yeah.
But like Yan Diomande on the other side, really good player. It's to me specifically with Burkina Faso will try and play ball with them, which means it's going to leave a lot of space. And Ahmad and Yan Diomande are more likely to punish that space.
That is the factor that I again.
The problem is Sakabore is probably one of the best fullbacks right now. Like that kid is nice. Yeah, Ivory Coast is so much better in terms of the quality that they have. And by the way, like just you don't win on paper, right? You win on the pitch. So
agreed. Yeah.
I could say all of this, and then Burkina Faso beats them 3-0.
It's that type of a tournament. I won't lie. It's a type of tournament where you say on paper it should be this side, but it's 2025. Now it's 2026. So pick the underdog and just run with it.
Feels like but that was one thing interesting, though, especially on the last game when they play against Gabon.
Yeah.
It needed for them to come back from 2-0. I'm wondering if they allow Burkina Faso to score or dictate the pace of the game early. Will they be able to make another comeback? Because Burkina Faso is a lot more dynamic than what Gabon was.
Agreed.
So by just giving them that much, like Gabon was a self-inflicted, right? So they went they felt comfortable, and then they stopped, and then they figured out that Bouanga was the one dictating most of the game, and then they shut him down, and he came back to 0. Looking at what Burkina Faso now is that they are a 90-minute team. They've shown
that's true. That is true. Yeah.
So I have Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, a slight edge to it, but I don't want to completely write Burkina Faso. I know they have a few allegiance, with a couple of guys there, but I think this one might be one of those how you call that quote where it's like the gacha game.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what Burkina Faso has in store, because they showed us when they're playing well for the whole game, what they're capable of. They've made a comeback, and I'm also still curious if Georgie is going to start the game again, or are they going to save them for the end? Because the team is built to do something. No one, I think, almost us when we did the preview, almost give them a chance to be in the round of 16 to begin with. So they're all playing with house money as we speak.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous.
Fair. That's fair. I think the points are valid. And I think it could go either way. The one thing with Cote d'Ivoire that I don't give them enough credit for is I think they are multifaceted in the sense that they can play. If they need to be defensive, they can do that. And then if they want to play an up and down, like you said, Nelson, they have the wingers that can do that. And if you give them that space on the back end, they will punish you. The wingers definitely. Strikers still have questions about it, no doubt about it. But I think Cote d'Ivoire, part of me is just also like my logic is just we haven't seen a repeat winner since Egypt ran it. So let me just I don't think they're gonna win. So let me just eliminate them now and then kind of run from there. And kind of that's kind of the logic I am keeping with it. Before we wrap it up, as I say this for the fifth time, last one. We know who the round of 16 is. Prince Hood saying Senegal or Morocco are winning AFCON. If I offered you those two teams or the field, are you taking those two teams or are you taking the field? To win AFCON. So it's two teams versus now 14 teams. Are you taking those two or the others? All right, got you. So are you taking those top two teams, or are we take the rest of the teams there? Who are you taking? Because look, my agenda for Morocco is there. Don't get me wrong, but you're telling me a DRC is where it's interesting. And if they weren't playing Algeria, I'd say, maybe Algeria can put together. But hey, one of those two teams has to move on, and the other one has to drop off. So a DRC or an Algeria could do something. An Egypt from simply just looking at the storylines could be interesting. But you're taking the top two or the field. What you got? What do you got? What would you take?
I'm leaving this alone. I'm leaving this alone because I said again, AFCON is chaotic as hell.
Yeah.
Anybody can get to work. Anybody can. I'm gonna leave it alone.
No, listen, Mo. What do you think? You taking those two teams or the field?
Those two teams. That's my final.
That's fine. Yeah, that's
right. That is my final.
That's a good way.
It'd be a good final. Don't get me wrong. It'd be a good final.
And they will be the right, and those two will be the right representation for when Senegal wins to represent this continent of Africa in the World Cup. Even the runner-up will be the right, the right flag bearer because those technically on paper are the two teams that even European teams, as they're preparing for the World Cup, the two countries they have on top of their list that they want to find a team to emulate within the next 6 months. Those are the two teams. That's why they're all going for Eastern African. They want to copy Morocco. When they go west, unfortunately, it's not Cote d'Ivoire or anything. It's Senegal. Why did the current champion, the world champion, typically you do not have anyone outside of the continent come to an African team and says, do you want to play us?
Yeah.
Argentina went to Senegal and said, do you want to play us to prepare for the World Cup? That is unheard of. Brazil went, First they play with Senegal,
Yeah,
then
no,
they
that's
go
fair.
and try to get more African countries.
Yeah,
England doing the same thing. This is it's gonna be a fun workout
yep.
and a painful one for the first
Oh, it will
week.
be. Um, yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see what people are saying here. Prince Hood saying those two easy. Been saying that they're the best two teams in Africa at the moment. One saying DRC can be anyone on their day. I tend to agree.
The problem is when
And
is that
then
day?
what would I pick? Yeah, listen, the day's got to be tomorrow, or Tuesday. I would say this. I think the stories are there. I don't think there's a reason to doubt those two teams because they are them. They're the teams that they're selected. So I don't think there's a reason to doubt them at all. But this is AFCON, and so I'll take the higher probability. Even though I still have my Hakimi agenda, it's there. It ain't going anywhere. But I think I would take the field because a DRC or an Algeria, I can see making it. I would take the field just for DRC, Algeria, and Egypt for those three. And then I also have Cote d'Ivoire to play around with. So that is that's where I would think I would put it in. And that's where I think those teams could get it done against any of the teams. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, guys, thank you for spending the evening with us. We have Indomitable Line 7 over here, keeping it together. Listen, we went to Kenya, we went back here, we went to the Gold Cup. We traveled well, man. Enjoy that nap. We got Mo Football here celebrating the win, and the Ghanaians out here are just like, listen, just give us a proper Anansi jersey, and we'll be happy. A proper Anansi jersey, and we will be happy. That's how it is. I agree with you. They are the two best teams, but a number of teams capable of beating them. AFCON is no joke. It is vibes.
Nail on the head, bro.
And I'm going to enjoy it when it's every 2 years, and I'll be mad when it's every 4 years because it is the tournament. It is the tournament that I've enjoyed so much. But guys, thank you again. Mo, you going live tomorrow?
I think the goal is to go live in 2 hours or so.
Oh, sir. Well, if you guys want more vibes from Mo, hop on there. Some of us may be there, some of us may not be. Anyway,
Hey,
yeah, jump in,
jerseys.
jump. Hey, okay. Oh, big man with jerseys now. Okay, let's see. The man starts getting game worn kits, and now we're in a different tier, sir.
Hey,
Listen, we all like potatoes. You just eat the fancy ones. We're good.
hey, I eat pommes frites,
Pomfret.
not
Oh,
French fries.
okay. Enjoy your frites over there. Listen, I eat steak potatoes, the common man's potatoes. But no. I know you got anything coming up for you. Coming up in the next little while.
No, I gotta go. Well, to be honest, I have to go grocery shopping. So
Don't tell the
I
missus
eat.
or anyone. We good. We good.
yeah.
But yeah, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah, and for me, this is going to be on podcast. But yeah, I'm going to try to go live around like after the second game, so maybe an hour or two after that, and just talk about both games as well, and we'll vibe it out from there. But yeah, that's what we got going on, guys. Thanks to everyone who came by. Appreciated the conversation. And hey, let's keep on talking about AFCON because it is vibes and it's one of the best tournaments out there, and more people should be paying attention. And we'll do our part to make sure that you know about it as well, and it offer you some great conversation, great times as well. So, till then,
Mhm.
we'll talk to you later. And as always, I'm gonna stop talking right